who died for the sins of mankind, while Easter Sunday celebrates Christ's resurrection from the dead. The Easter holiday represents hope, renewal of faith, and victory over sin. And we are also celebrating the Holi Festival, celebrated by millions of Hindus around the world, also known as the Festival of Colours. Holi has been celebrated since ancient times and marks the beginning of the spring season in India. So today, we are lucky to have James Taylor and Susan Wong from our Ombudsman team to share some stories about Easter. Some of you may not know Jason and Susan very well, so we'll provide a bit of a background on each of them as well. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody to speak today on Holi, but we do have one of our Melbourne colleagues who has shared some lovely, very colourful shots for us to look at. I also want to call out the Social Club and the Mosaic Group for putting together this morning tea. There's some amazing treats there and I hope you enjoy them. Okay, well that's enough from me, so I'll now pass over to James.
Thank you, Anna. If you don't know me, I'm in the Sydney office regularly. My name's James Taylor. I'm an Ombudsman in Sue-Ann and Russell's team, Small Business and Transactions. And I deal primarily with small business complaints, so supporting BF5, BF9 and other people who interact with small business complaints. That's primarily what I do. What I was going to do this morning is very briefly for you all, so you get stuck into other things, but very briefly interview a colleague, Susan. I'll let Susan introduce herself.
Thanks, James. So for those who don't know me, I'm Susan Wan. I'm in the same team as James, the Ombudsman team, Small Business and Transactions. I do a smattering of things, mostly transactions, but also some broker stuff and general banking stuff as well. So nice to meet you all.
Wonderful applause, thank you. We've heard briefly a little bit about what Easter is. Susan, I know it's important to you. So I was just going to ask you, what is Easter?
So I think Anna's covered it pretty well, but just to add to that, Easter is the highlight of the Christian calendar, and both Easter Friday and Easter Sunday are important. On Friday, we celebrate the death and resurrection of a man named Jesus, who died about 2,000 years ago. And Christians believe that Jesus was not just a wise man or a good teacher, but he was also God, and we call him the Son of God. So when Jesus died on that very first Good Friday on a Roman cross for a crime he did not commit, Christians believe that he bore the guilt of the world for sin, which as its core is a rejection of a loving and holy God. But then on Sunday, Jesus rose from the dead, and we call it Resurrection Sunday, and Christians believe that in doing so he brought us new life to everyone who would believe in him. So every year around this time, we celebrate that message of good news, hope, and freedom from sin. And over the years, some of the things we do around Easter find their meaning in that story of the very first Easter. And for example, the eggs to symbolise the new life, and for some, the observance of a period of Lent or abstinence from certain things to reflect on the meaning of Jesus' sacrifice.
Thank you. I like the sound of a story of hope. And is it important to you? It sounds important. It sounds like a great story to me, but what is Easter to you?
Yeah, so it is important to me as I'm a practicing Christian, and I go to a very informal church congregation. So around Easter, there aren't a lot of specific rituals or things we do, but for myself, we do get together on Easter Friday as a more solemn gathering to reflect on our need for mercy and grace, and then on Easter Sunday for a more joyous celebration of Jesus' resurrection. And at these services, we do what we normally do on the Sunday, which is to sing, read the Bible, pray, encourage one another. I don't particularly think of Easter as a more spiritual time of the year, but For me, it is important to take time out, not just once a year, but particularly this time of the year, to remember the reason for my own faith and to give thanks and look forward to a greater hope.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you both. Fabulous to hear from you, and hopefully some of our colleagues here who don't know you very well will start to have a bit of a chat over a Easter bun or a chocolate. I think we've already eaten a few chocolates. So. All right, so what we've done today, I think, really symbolises what AFCA is all about, which is about being able to bring our whole selves to work and be able to express who we are and our beliefs and what we do, and not have to leave it at the revolving door, but to be able to share in a group of people. And so I think that's great. We celebrate many events, and we'll continue to do so through our social club. Today it's Easter and Holy Festival of beautiful colours. So in terms of what is going on, we have a great selection of all kinds of food, so please move forward and eat as much as you can, because we don't want to let it go to waste. Please also socialise with your colleagues. There's quite a few people here. We've had lots of new people in this Sydney office, so make some time to reach out to an unfamiliar face and introduce yourself over a cup of tea or whatever you're eating, and share something and get to know each other. I think, we've got such a great community here in Sydney, and we really need to keep going because we're growing beyond, I think we're almost at 300 now, which is a huge number, huge. In fact, if everybody turned up on the same day, we wouldn't have enough seats. So that's how big we are. Or hot cross buns. So that's why we held it today, otherwise we'd go bankrupt. And also, I just wanted to do a quick call out for various employee resource groups that we have.